Well, hi everyone. I think you're almost there, everyone. Well, it's a pleasure to have today with us Carlos Moyá. He needs no presentation. You know him really well as the coach of Rafa Nadal and his close relationship with the academy. These days, you've also been studying him a little bit more during the off-course lessons. As you will remember, in 1995, at the age of 19, Carlos won his first tournament at top level in Buenos Aires. 2 years later, he reached his first Grand Slam final at the Australian Open. And the next year, he won the French Open, and also he reached the ATP finals. In 1999, he reached the world number one, and he became the first ever Spanish player in history to achieve this feat. And after his retirement, he's been doing so many things as Davis Cup captain, and as a coach, he has won 12 titles. He first worked with Milos Raonic, and in the last years with Rafa, he helped him to win, for example, the last 3 Roland Garros, 2 US Open, or 7 ATP World Tour Master 1000. Carlos, welcome. And first of all, I don't know if you want to say a few words to all the players of the academy that are here.
Hi guys, how are you? I hope you are well. It's been a difficult time these last 6 weeks, I guess, but I think you are in good hands. At least you are isolated, and I guess you're doing school and some fitness. So yeah, let's hope this is gonna pass fast. I think we are at the end of it. We are seeing light at the end of the tunnel, I think. And well, you have to take these 6 weeks as something that probably we will never live something like that again, and nobody did that in the past. And well, it's a different experience, but you know, just I send you my support. It's been tough for everybody, for you guys that you could not do your favorite sport, that is tennis, but we have to be together in this situation, and hopefully, like I said, it's gonna be last weeks of what is happening, and soon you will be playing tennis again, and soon you will be playing tournaments again. So I heard you being very good. You have been behaving very well in the academy. So yeah, I send you my support.
Carlos, players have a lot of questions for you. I don't know if they're all here. We're gonna begin. I don't know if Nikita, if you're there. Please remember, you all have to turn off your mic, and then when you're gonna make the question, please turn it on. I don't know, Nikita, if you're there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi.
Hi, Nikita. How are you?
Hi. Good. Thank you. The question is, how was your first emotion when you got the ranked #1?
Well, it was a long time ago, but it's something that those memories, they will always be there. You know, it was 21 years ago, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, it was the dream came true. It was a weird situation for me, because at the beginning of that tournament, I was number 5 in the world. And the first 4 top players, they lost first round. So since first day, I knew that if I was getting to the final, I was number 1. So yeah, it was a lot of pressure and a lot of like a roller coaster regarding feelings. But I played very well that week. I could manage the pressure pretty well, I think. And then when I won the semifinals, that gave me the number 1. Then I lost in the final in 5 sets. But it was unbelievable. I mean, you start to remember about all your coaches, all your friends, all the people that made that possible, because you guys know, as a tennis player, you always need the support of family, of all the players, of coaches, and so many people. So I was very thankful to all of them. I tried to enjoy that situation, and yeah, it's something that there's always gonna be there in this sport. You know, my name as a number 1 is something that I'm very proud of.
The next question is from Jorge Alonso. I don't know if you're here.
Hola, Carlos.
Hola, Jorge, ¿cómo estás?
Bien. How did you meet Rafa, and when did you start training together when you were young?
Well, actually, I met him not in Mallorca, but in Stuttgart. I was playing what was called a Super 9 event, a Masterhausen event in indoors, and he was playing, if I'm not wrong, an under 12 tournament, Nike Junior Tour event. And the Nike guy that was helping me, he was there in charge of the tournament, and he brought Rafa one day to one of my practices in Stuttgart. So he introduced me, and yeah, he asked me if I can hit with him for 10-15 minutes, and I did, and I was very impressed how the intensity he had for such a young kid, you know, at 11. You picture something else, you know, and I was really amazed of how intense he was. He was very shy. He shook hands even. He was not even looking at me. He was pretty impressed, I guess, or very shy. But then once we started to hit, he was unbelievable how intense he was and how good he was for 11 years old. So after that, by then I was living in Barcelona. I moved back to Mallorca like 2 years later, and he was 13, 14 years old. And yeah, I practiced with him when he was 13, 14, I guess not every day, but pretty on a regular basis I was practicing with him. So, and then he joined the tour very, very fast. He played few tours. He didn't play many of them. He won very fast. Then he played challenges, and right away he joined the ATP tour, and he was 15. And then we had the chance to meet each other very well on tour. And it was great to have someone from Mallorca nearby, because, like, you know, tours sometimes can be very lonely, and to have friends around you, it's great.
So the next one is Jordi Plana.
Hi. What are the main difference between being a player and coaching a player?
Well, it's a big difference. It's a different stage of my life, different age as well. So when you are 20 years old, you think one way. When you are 40, I'm 43 right now, you think different. You see tennis different as well. So when I was player, we didn't have all this technology close to us, all these prevention exercises, all these nutrition tips that can help make your career last longer. So yeah, I was just focused on my tennis when I was practicing, and when I was playing a match. After that, I like to spend time with my friends that had nothing to do with tennis. I like to do my things. I like to go to the beach, go to cinema, try to forget about tennis, that pressure that you have to cope with when you're a tennis player. Now when you coach, is different. You don't work for yourself, but for somebody else. So first of all, you have to put your ego aside and know that you have to do your best to try to help someone, which is not you. And that makes you think about tennis for most part of the day, trying to find ways to improve, to find ways of how to know the other players, how to adapt Rafa's game to the other players, how the opponent's game is going to affect Rafa. So always trying to find solutions, also always trying to find on how can we improve, how can we evolve, which is very important. Yeah? You cannot forget that Rafa was top 2-3 player when he was 17 years old, 18 years old. He's top 3 player now, he's 33. So there has to be an evolution on that, because your body is not the same. Your opponents get to know you much better than every year, and you have to play new opponents every 2-3 years with like the young kids now coming up. So me as a coach, have to find ways on how I think Rafa can hurt the other guy. So that makes me think of tennis more than when I was a player. So it's different story now.
Next question. Let's go with Lynn.
Hello. My question is,
Which advice did Joanne Bot give to you that you pass it to Rafa now?
What advice gave me who?
Joan Bosch.
Aha! Lambos, one of the best coaches I ever had. He is a great guy. He's one of the best coaches that you can have. He's a great coach, but he's a better person. So tennis at the end is not just a sport, but it's about human beings. And he was one of the best things that happened to me. He started as a friend of mine when we met each other when I was 11, I think 11 or 12, and we've been through many different things together on and off the court, and I have the greatest opinion about him, and he always encouraged me to enjoy my career, to enjoy my tennis. So that's what I try to pass on Rafa, and you know, I spend moments with him that I will never forget. So you are very happy to have him in the academy.
Okay, Jan Jauch.
Yeah, hello.
Hi Jan, how are you?
Good, thanks. My question is, when and why did you decide to become professional, and how would you describe a professional career?
Well, I think you don't decide when you turn pro. I think you are playing tournaments, you are getting good results, your ranking is improving, then you decide to jump to the professional tennis, jump to the jungle, let's say. So for me, it went pretty fast. Actually, I was not the best. I never won the national championship, under 12, under 14, or under 16 in Spain. But then I progressed really fast when I was 17. So right away, when I moved to Barcelona when I was 17, after 4 or 5 months, I won my first. Back then was satellites. Now it's the futures. So I won my first event. Then that same year, I won Challenger events, and the next year I won my first ATP event. So it went very fast. I was also under 18 European champion. So it's something that I dreamed of when I was a kid, but you don't decide when you turn pro. You decide that you want to be a tennis player, and then you play tournaments, you improve. Like I said, you get ranking points, you get higher in the rankings, and so I was really convinced that I was going to be a pro when I won the under 18 European Championship. I was 17, and I won that tournament. So that helped me realize that I could do well in this sport, and yeah, that was in '94, if I'm not wrong. I was 17, turning 18 next month.
Thanks, Jan. Dani.
Hola, Carlos.
Hola, Dani, ¿qué tal?
Bien, gracias. My question is, what is the best quality of Rafa as a player?
It's hard to find just one good quality with Rafa. When you are so good, you are one of the greatest. So many things have to be in the mix. But to me, the passion he has every day and willing to evolve after what he has achieved in the past, it's something that keeps amazing. So I only coached 2 players, but I knew many players in the past, and I never met someone like Rafa in this subject. So I think he's great on that.
Let's go with Lucas Meyer.
Hello?
Hi, Lucas, how are you?
Good, thanks. And you?
I'm good, thank you.
So my question is, how did you feel when you lost against Rafa the first time?
Didn't feel happy, but I knew that more losses against him were about to come. So, well, he was 16 years old when he beat me. I was top 5 in the world, probably. And we knew each other very well already because we practiced many times. I think when we were playing sets during practice, he never beat me before that much. So I kind of felt the pressure to be the favorite and to be playing someone 10 years younger than me. and that I knew that he was going to be a great player in the future. So, but yeah, like I said, I had to accept it. It's true that he was not of his best matches. I didn't play well, I think, because I was pretty nervous. But like I said, I knew that was the first defeat I was going to have against him of many more to come, and it was that way, unfortunately for me.
Thanks, Lucas. Elena Arenas. Gran
Hi,
apellido.
Elena.
Gran apellido.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pero dale.
Hola, Carlos.
Hola.
My question is, which is the best value that tennis has taught you?
Well, tennis gives you a lot of values that can be used for what I call the real life. Tennis for me was like being in a bubble. So it shows you a lot of things. It shows you respect, dignity, team effort, stay humble, stay with your feet on the ground. And you know that as an individual sport, you cannot rely on anyone. So it's about you. You have to do always your best. You cannot have any excuse on one day if you lose. So to me, being an individual sport, that's what decided me and helped me to want to be a tennis player. When I was 19 years old, you could dream of being a football player, basketball player. So the values that tennis gives you, for me, was what decided me to help me to decide to be a tennis pro. So all these values, like I said, are the most important ones for me.
Thanks, Elena. It's your turn, Oli.
Hi, Carlos.
Hi, Oli, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
I'm good.
What was your most memorable moment as a coach, and did you ever think you would be Rafa's coach?
Can you say again, please? I didn't hear you.
What was your most memorable moment as a coach?
My
And did
my
you ever-
best memory with Rafa?
No, as a coach in general. And did you ever think you would be Rafa's coach?
Well, I'll answer this one before. I didn't honestly think I was gonna be his coach. First of all, because I didn't know I was gonna be tennis coach when I retired. So after you retire, you go through many different stages on your life. I have children, and I wanted to spend a lot of time with them. I was a little bit tired. I wanted to relax a little bit and forget about tennis for a while. Although I was playing exhibitions, I tried to stay fit, but not thinking about tennis at all. It was time for me to think about something else. And also because I thought Rafa would never add anyone to his team. He's very loyal to his team. If you have a look at his team, all the guys that are in his team have been there for so many years. So he's very traditional on that, and he likes to have his people that he trusts a lot, and he's very loyal to them. So I didn't think I was going to be his coach, so that's why I was a bit surprised when I was offered to get into his team. So I was really happy, to be honest, because I think he's a great guy, great champion, and we know each other for so long, like I said before. Best memory with him or being a coach, it has to be with him for all this. I was with Raonic before Rafa, and we had a great year. But after that, what I lived with Rafa in the past, all these situations and experiences we had in the past on and off the court, you have a feeling for him. You feel something different. It's not only my job, but I feel him like a friend as well. So probably the best memory, winning the French Open in 2017. I joined the team that year in 2017, beginning of the year. First tournament I was there, he lost in the final against Federer in Australia. And then French Open that year, he played unbelievable. But he didn't win a Grand Slam since 2014, so it was 3 years already that he wasn't winning a Grand Slam. So we were not sure. I was pretty sure that he could do it, but we were not sure how mentally he was going to deal with that. So he broke like a barrier to win that Grand Slam. Then he was able to win 4 more Grand Slams after that one. So that's probably the best moment I had with him.
Thanks, Oli. It's your turn, Josh.
Hello. Hola.
Yes, how are you?
I have 2 questions. The first one is, does Rafa always listen to you on court?
Does Rafa only?
Does Rafa always listens to you on court?
No,
Si él te suele escuchar en la pista, if he listens to you on court.
Sorry. Yeah, he listens. Different thing is that he acts and he does what I'm saying. That's different. But yeah, he's a great listener, and he has a lot of respect for the player. But you know, I always say that I'm not right on everything I tell him. If from 10 things I tell him, maybe he gets 2 or 3 things, and then he uses those 2 or 3 things. And it's not about that he has to do whatever I say. I mean, he has his opinion. Don't forget that he's one of the greatest in this sport. So he has an idea of what he's doing, obviously. So it's about, you know, talking. It's not that he's listening. It's that we talk, we discuss. We sometimes agree on things. Sometimes we don't agree. Always what I tell him, it's from a plan or something that I really thought really deep about that. It's not that I come with an idea and I just tell him. I try to think a lot on what I'm telling him, because we have to argue about that, and I have to give him my opinion and my arguments. So yeah, he's a good listener.
And the second one is, how does being an athlete make you a better person?
If being an athlete has made me a better person, that's what you're asking?
How?
¿Ya? ¿Ha preguntado eso?
How does being an athlete make you a better person?
Well, like I said before, being an athlete gives you values and gives you so many things that what I call the real life cannot give you. And you have to grow up really fast. I was traveling alone when I was 16, 17, when we didn't have what we have now, like this Zoom where you can meet you can see your family, your friends, everyone. So I give you a lot of values. Give you value how to behave, how to grow up, how to make you better, how to work with the team, to stay humble, like I said before, and to find solutions on the problems that you're gonna have. Once you're on the court, nobody's gonna help you there. So you're gonna be on your own, and you have to find and fix the things that you're doing wrong by thinking. So yeah, I think all these things you then can use them on the real life. And I joined the real life 10 years ago, let's say, when I retired from tennis, and all these experiences that I had in the past in my career, of course, helped me then to spend these moments.
Okay, thank you, Josh. Tarak.
Thanks, Josh. Barak?
Tarak. My question is, what was your worst injury that you had in your career, and how did you overcome it?
Well, I wasn't injury-free. I was okay with my body, but I had to go through different periods where I was struggling with injuries. I remember I had a stress fracture in my L4, but it took a while to heal. It took a while to find out that I had that stress fracture. So that was during one of my best periods as a tennis player, when I was right after I was #1 in the world. It was in '99, so I struggled a little bit on that. Then I had pain in my shoulder for a long time. Never had to go to surgery because of the shoulder, but it was really bothering me during a long time. And then I had arthrosis in my big toe, the right foot, since I was 20 years old. And that was at the end, the injury that forced me to have surgery when I like 12 years later, and then that I had to retire because of that. So these three were the biggest one: the arthrosis in the big toe, shoulder, and stress fracture in my L4 vertebrae.
Pedro, Peter.
Peter, vaya.
Hola, Carlos, ¿qué tal? My question is, what's the best moment you've had as a tennis player in your career?
Well, emotional moment probably when we won the Davis Cup 2004. That was the last really big goal I had in my career after I was number one and I won the French Open. So I was 27, 28, and I had the feeling that was the last chance to win Davis Cup. So yeah, we were 2-1 up, and then I had to play Roddick. That was home in Seville with 27,000 people supporting us, and the atmosphere was unbelievable. And Roddick, I never beat him before, so I knew it was going to be a tough match. Rafa actually beat him on Friday, the first day, and we were 2-1 up. So it was the deciding moment for me. I knew that that was my chance, and if I didn't make that happen, probably I would regret for the rest of my life. So I played really well. Very focused. Of course, I was nervous. I was really wanted to win that game so badly that I played really well. And after I won, then that point gave us the Davis Cup. Well, it was something unbelievable. But it's hard to pick just one moment in 15 years life, 15 years of a career. So probably emotionally, that was the top for me.
Okay, thank you, Pedro. Sven, you're the next one.
Hey, Carlos.
Hello.
What was your toughest moment you faced as a player and as a coach?
Toughest moment as a player and as a coach?
Yeah.
Toughest moment as a player, probably injuries. And then if we talk about the match, probably I lost the final in the Master at the end of the year, the Master Cup, leading 2-0 and being up in the fifth set, break up in the fifth against Correcha. That was probably my worst loss, because now if I think about it, having that tournament under my belt would have been really amazing, Then as a coach, probably the final 2017 that Rafa lost against Federer in Australia. I think that match was a turning point for Federer in his career. After that, he's won three Grand Slams. And of course, Rafa, after that, he still won 5 Grand Slams. After the match that Rafa lost against Djokovic last year, in 2018 in Wimbledon, although I wasn't there, I was watching on TV. That one was a really hard loss also, because that was also a turning point for Djokovic. Djokovic was coming from a couple of years really struggling, and he was finding his form, his way again. But after that, he became again the Djokovic, the old Djokovic that we knew. And after that, he's won, I don't know how many Grand Slams, but maybe 3, 4. So those 2 moments probably were the toughest ones.
Okay, thanks, Sven. Jaime, ¿estás por ahí?
How many vodka lemonades can you drink on a night out?
I don't know.
What?
Mi pregunta es que my question is that what's the funny story you have with Joanne Bot?
Funny story, I cannot tell here. Funny story with him. Sorry about that. No, honestly, we spent so many years together that I cannot pick just one moment with him. It was a learning experience. He was not just a friend. He's not just a tennis coach. He was a coach. The way he sees life. You guys that you're lucky to know him, you know what I mean when you're around him and you get to know him better. So we have so many stories now. it's not coming specifically one to my mind. If you let me think, for sure I will find so many stories and moments that we had together, but there have been plenty of them, and we had a lot of fun, I can guarantee you.
Okay, Ethan, it's your turn.
Hello.
Hi, Ethan, how are you?
Good, and you?
Good, thanks.
Why did you retire from being professional? Oh, no.
No he escuchado, Antonio.
Ethan, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Oh, sorry, can I repeat my question, please?
Yes. I'm losing you.
Yeah, sorry. What was how many tournaments did you play per year when you were during your professional time?
How many tournaments I played per year when?
During when you were when you were still a pro.
Okay. It depends on the year. When I joined the tour at the beginning, I was playing, I'm talking when I was 19, 20 years old, I was playing 27, 28, 30 tournaments. It was a lot. Then once I got to the top 10, probably I was playing 20, 22, something like 20, 22, something like that. So I mean, the tour was different by then. Different system, different points, different compulsory tournaments. Now you have to play the 4 slams, 9,000, the Master 1000 events. You have to play all of them. Back then, you didn't have to play. I mean, if you wanted to play, you could play, but otherwise you could not play if you didn't want to. It was up to you, but you didn't get zero points. So you were trying to play as much as possible, but now things are different. That ranking system changed a lot, and the tournaments changed a lot. For example, when first time I went to Australia in '96, there were like 15 or 18 top 100 Spanish players, but only 5 of them played there. So I just commenting how things changed since back then until now.
So let's go with the last questions. I think it's your turn, and Pablo Leibar.
Pablito, ¿dónde andas, Pablito?
Pablo, are you there? If not, let's go with the next one. Nathan. Nathan Tourbe. Yes, Nathan is there. Come on, Nathan. Yeah.
Hello. Hello, sorry. Are you ever gonna come to the academy to coach us in the future?
To come to the academy too?
To coach them.
Very good.
Of course, I would love to. Now we have to spend some more time here home, but then when I go with Rafa, I'll come see you. Okay, guys?
So now it's a tough question because it's Roger who is going to ask you. Te va a preguntar Roger ahora.
¿Qué Roger?
Jim Peng Tang. Roger.
Rogelio.
Yeah. Roger, are you there? Okay.
He didn't show up. Roger,
no.
Where are you?
Come on, don't be scared. He's there. Yeah, that's it.
My question is, how are you preparing with Rafa before the Grand Slam?
I mean, the good thing with Rafa is that he's not playing a lot of tournaments. So the tournaments that he plays 100%. I'm not talking 100% tennis-wise, but mentally 100%. Like last year, he played 16 events, probably 17, something like that. 2 years ago, he played 9 events because he was injured. So every event he's playing, he's ready mentally. You know that he's gonna play 100%. So we obviously there's more pressure when we get to a Grand Slam, that's for sure. But with him, there is always the pressure that he has to win. You know, so we prepare every tournament the same way. And like I said, more pressure in a Grand Slam. But huh?
No, someone speaking.
Okay. So yeah, we prepare. We usually at the academy, then we go to the tournaments, and we used to go 5-6 days before the tournament starts. So he gets to play. He gets to play sets with the players there, and because I think all the hard work we make it at the academy, and then once we get to the tournament, it's about trying to fix few little things, few details, but the biggest part of the hard work he makes it at the academy. This, like, I compare this like an exam. You know, when the tournament will be an exam for him, and you study all what is going to be in the exam. You study a while before, so once you get to the exam, you're ready for it, and that's the same.
So let's go with the last ones because we have to go to dinner. Dylan, are you here?
Hello.
Hi, Dylan. How are you?
Good. How are you?
All good, thank you.
My question was, when you were young, what was your greatest fear and how did you overcome it?
When I was your age, let's say?
Yeah.
Well, biggest fear was not to be able to make my dream come true. My dream was to be a tennis player, and that's what I wanted to be, and I had no other option than that. You know, I was very committed to that, and I was very sure that if I kept thinking that way, things could happen easier. You know, I think if you're convinced that something is going to happen, then probably it's going to happen. So, you know, I tried to stay focused on that, and obviously my biggest fear was that I was not going to be able to get there. You know, because I didn't have a plan B. I was studying, obviously, but I didn't have something else that really like the way I was enjoying playing tennis. So I was pretty sure that I was going to be a tennis player. So the thing is that if I was you guys, I would be really committed to chase my dream. My conditions were much more difficult. I didn't have an academy like this. I didn't have a team like the one you have around. Back then in Mallorca in the 80s, late 80s or beginning of 90s, the things were not easy. Conditions were not easy. We didn't have any academy, any really good academy like the one you have. Back then, if I wanted to be a tennis player, I had to move to Barcelona like I did when I was 17. Now you are very lucky and very fortunate to have these facilities there, this team there. So that was something I didn't have, but still I prevailed and I dedicated myself to do the best that I can. And if you have a dream, just chase it. Then if you do your best, you do your 100% that you cannot get to be a tennis player, there is not going to be regret. So there's not going to be failure. Failure is if you don't give your 100% to try to chase your dream.
Okay, let's go quickly to the last one. Last ones, Marco.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, Marco, I hear you. How are you?
All good, thank you. My question is, what went through your mind when you won your Roland Garros? How was that feeling, that sensation of winning a Grand Slam?
Well, it was not easy to deal with it. I mean, you don't get a guideline of what you have to do when you become a Grand Slam champion. But you know, I just try to enjoy the moment and enjoy what I just had achieved. You know, after that, you get a little bit empty inside of you. You know, after you chase such a big goal and then you achieve it, you have the feeling that you are a bit empty inside. It takes a while to settle things and to accept what you just did. You know, it takes few days. But yeah, you know, it's something that is gonna be there for a lifetime for me, and some memories that I'm sure when I'm gonna be 70 years old, it's something that I will never forget. You know, it just happened only once. For me, I was single Grand Slam champion, didn't happen more, but it's gonna be something that I will never forget, and it was a great feeling that I was very lucky to have the chance to share it with my family, with my friends, with all the people who were there supporting me.
Okay, and the last one, John Rado.
Is vaping bad for tennis?
My question was, in the time you've been working with Rafa, what has been the biggest change you have seen in him? And has it been more induced by the coaching team, or been the first to, or has he been the first to see the need?
Well, I wouldn't say that something has changed. Well, technically, probably the serve is the thing that it changed a little bit, and well, you know, it changed the motion for serve. And yeah, well, I think we tried to convince him, and he's convinced, and he knows. Try to be more aggressive, try to be more proactive, try to build more the point and find things to do, not being just only reactive. So that's what we try to do, and being aggressive is I'm not talking about hitting the ball hard, but about positioning on the court. In order to do that, you need to have a good serve. That's why we've been able to do that, because he has improved his serve. So that gives him the chance to be more aggressive. Not to be afraid of missing balls, as long as he made the right choice and he plays with order. Order is the main thing for him. As long as he plays with order and he makes the right choice, I think it's fine if you miss. If you want to be aggressive, you want to go for the point, you will miss sometimes. So that's what we try to talk a lot with him about that. Not just me, but the whole team. And that's something that I think we have been doing. I mean, and he's been doing pretty well. And first of all, the player has to be open to that and has to listen, and he needs to be willing to try that and to evolve. So all the credit is for the player, who is the one who is outside on court alone, playing by himself and suffering and struggling and everything. But then we try to talk about that a lot, try to make him believe that he can finish the points earlier, that the points can be shorter, so he's going to run less, his matches are going to last less. He's not 20 years old anymore, his legs are not the same as they used to be. But he was aware of that, and like I said many times, it's very easy to work with somebody that is so good and that he's so open to accept and to evolve and to be a better player.
Carlos, thanks so much for being with us during this afternoon. It was a real pleasure for all of us. And I think that there are some of the players that want to tell you something right now, just to finish.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Guys, thanks for everything, and I hope you have a great time. And come on, good luck. You can do it. It's going to be just a few more days or weeks. You will never know. But all the best from home, and I hope to see you soon. Okay, and thanks for this hour that we spent together now. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Carlos. See you soon.
Now, have a good time.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye.
Thank you.